Dr. Frank Wike Jr. is Nigeria's former Minister of Information and National Orientation. He joins me now for his stance on the ongoing public hearing on the Constitution review. Thank you for being here. Talk to us about your thoughts about this review. I mean, one time too many. There are conversations around whether we need a whole new constitution, and then we have this one now.
We on?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you so much, Felicity. Thank you, and thank you for the great work that the New Central team has been doing since you commenced transmission nationally. First of all, I've adopted a very pragmatic view about the matter of constitutional amendment in our country. As you pointed out, it's one amendment too many. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt that the current constitution is not what we should be dealing with at this time. It is flawed in several respects, and I've heard people from different sides of the aisle making very strong statements, very, very strong representations on the need to have a brand new constitution. But the fact of the matter is that as things stand today, if we must, have a constitution based on through legal means, the only institution of government or governance that is mandated by law to put in place a new constitution is this National Assembly. But they have chosen a different path. They've chosen to amend the constitution, and this is what we've had. When you look at the frequency and the depth and dimensions of the kinds of amendments, again, it makes even a stronger case for there to be a national dialogue, a national conversation on on a new constitution and how we really want to cohabit, how we want to govern ourselves as a nation. And but like I said, I adopt a very pragmatic approach. This is what we have. The National Assembly have the mandate. This is what they're doing. Okay. And I'm happy in a way that citizens have shown up and to say, okay, this is where we are today. Let's do the best we can under the circumstance. Wow. So this is really my view on the matter.
You've spoken a bit about this issue prior, and you spoke mainly about diaspora voting, and you also talked about individual candidacy. Why is that so important to fix politics NG at this time?
Okay, so Felicity, it's a no-brainer, if I may put it that way. Okay, and why do I say this? Now, data available to us. There's something we say at Fix Politics, right? In God we trust. Everyone else should bring their data. It's a mantra we have, because when there's empirical evidence to underpin a policy position, then that policy position should ordinarily be unimpeachable, or that data should be unimpeachable. And so it strengthens your hand in making a case. Let's look at the diaspora situation in this circumstance. So data available to us shows that there are between 17 to 20 million Nigerians in diaspora, at the moment. This is the data that is available to us. And if you look at, say, let's look at the 2023 elections, based on data from INEC, about 22 million votes were cast, say, in the presidential elections, thereabout. And His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, who was declared winner, won the election with less than 10 million votes, right? So here you are, just 22 million votes were cast for the presidential election in your country in one election cycle. But you have 17 to 20 million people outside your shores, right? Not just that these people are citizens. These people have a right, they ought to have a voice in the way their nation is being governed. And yet we deny them this opportunity. But why is this even more important? This diaspora community, right, they contribute significantly to our economic development. Available data again shows that in 2024, this diaspora remittances to Nigeria totaled about $20.93 billion. Now, in 2023, it totaled about $19.3 billion US, right? This is the kind of contribution that they make economically. And these monies go to real estate, they go to education, they go to healthcare, they go to upkeep, they go to investments in the stock exchange and things like that. Why do you want people who are so, who play such a major role in your economy, why do you think they have no right to have a say in the governance of their country? Excuse me, let me even say something else. Nigeria's diaspora remittances accounts for 35% of the total diaspora remittances into sub-Saharan Africa. And even more importantly, Felicity, I'll tell you one more thing that might intrigue you, right? That over a 5-year period, total remittances came to about $90 billion from diaspora, from Nigerians in diaspora. So why would you ignore these kinds of people? How do you disenfranchise these kinds of people? That's why we're making a very strong case for these diasporans, Nigerians in diaspora, to have opportunity to have a say in how our country is being run. And what we're saying is not novel. There are smaller countries, far less developed countries on the continent who have already embraced diaspora voting. Of course, Europe and Americas, there are many countries who implement these things in varying degrees. Countries as like Togo, like Burkina Faso, like South Africa, like Benin, all of these countries actually have diaspora voting. Why are we afraid? Why are we shying away from this? Is there something else that we don't want to confront? So that is why we're making a very strong case that Nigerians in diaspora should be given a chance to have a say in the way our country is being run. It's good for our democracy. It's about inclusivity, right? It's about civic responsibility.
All right.
But by simply ignoring them, by simply not willing to do anything about it, you cannot.
Yeah, we're time pressed. I'll just chip in one last question quickly, and that has to do with the seats for women. There was a call for that urgently. Do you have any contributions regarding this demand? If you can do that in 1 minute, that would be great.
Fantastic. I mean, absolutely. It is in our national interest. It is in our best interest. It is the right thing to do. It is fair. It is just. It is pragmatic. It is consistent with global best practice for our mothers, our daughters, and our wives, right? Our friends, you know, who constitute about 50% of our population, right? It is fair for them to have adequate representation in public governance. And history has shown that when we've had women in various, in high positions in high public positions, they've done well. Right? Females like Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, like Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, we have Amina Mohammed, and they go down in history. Funmilayo Ransome Kuti, Gambo Sawaba, people like Margaret Ebo, and many others that do not come to mind. People like Professor Joy Ezilo. There are people who have distinguished themselves in various, these women have distinguished themselves. So why not? So we actually should change our nation when we deliberately embrace misogyny, when we deliberately embrace chauvinism, and embarrass our mothers and our sisters and our wives, believing that they're only good enough when the lights are off.
Well, let's hope that this time it goes beyond talking and actually gets into the Constitution. Thank you very much, Frank, for giving us your time.